Hey guys, this is Austin. What's the best tablet for gaming? Nvidia have been known for their graphics for years, but only recently have they gotten into actual hardware. The Tablet K1 originally came out in 2014, but after some issues with the battery, it's been updated with a new name, price, and Android 6.0 Marshmallow. At $200, you're getting a tablet that still holds up today with a nice, bright 1920 by 1200 8-inch display and several accessories like the Shield controller and cover. Moving up the price ladder a bit, we've got the Asus Transformer T100HA. This is a $300 Windows tablet with one big addition, a keyboard dock. With the help of a couple magnets, the T100 turns into a touchscreen laptop with a small but usable trackpad and keyboard. It's also got a solid variety of ports like micro USB for charging, HDMI for using an external display or TV, along with USB Type-C. Pair this with the MacBook USB-C adapter and you've got a full USB 3.0 port for using something like an external hard drive. The iPad is the most popular tablet out there for good reason, and the iPad Mini 4 has a lot going for it. At $400, it's the most expensive option here, but it absolutely feels its price. With an all-aluminum build, it's thin while still sporting features like Touch ID. It has a fantastic 7.9-inch Retina display. Not only is it the best here on paper, but it also has killer color and viewing angles. It shows up even more expensive options like the iPad Air. With Android, iOS, and Windows covered, what kinds of games can you play on these tablets? Nvidia has done a lot of work on Android the last couple years, and it shows on the Shield. Vainglory is the mobile equivalent of League of Legends. The K1 has more than enough power to keep things running smoothly. Leo's Fortune is a more casual game that performs well, which shouldn't be a huge surprise, but a nice addition is the Shield controller support. This is the same gamepad from the Shield console, and I like it. It has built-in Android controls like back and home, but more importantly, it opens up games that aren't well suited to just a touchscreen. With GeForce Now, you can stream full PC games. This is relying on you having a good connection, but if you do, it's a solid experience. Pair that with an Android version of Shadowplay to let you record your gameplay, and you have a very cool way of playing and even streaming your games to Twitch. The Asus T100 has the advantage of running full Windows 10, giving you access to the massive Steam library. This is a tablet, so don't expect it to destroy a gaming PC, but hook up an Xbox One controller and you've got yourself a decent little Rocket League machine. With a mouse and keyboard, you'll have no problem playing lighter titles like League of Legends and even bumping settings up a bit. Games like Counter-Strike Go aren't quite as smooth, even with the graphics on low, but it is playable for a quick game or two. The full PC version of Minecraft also works here. It might not be able to keep up with a ton of mods, but it's not bad. The iPad, on the other hand, has tons of titles that are well suited to a touchscreen. Agario started out as a browser game, but you can sink just as many hours into the iPad version by tapping and swiping. Lara Croft Go is another great example of a fun tablet game. The art style is on point, and while it wouldn't look out of place on a console, it works well here. Speaking of, Telltale has most of their games like Game of Thrones available on iOS, and while graphically they aren't too impressive, if you've never played titles like The Walking Dead, you're missing out. While all three tablets can handle gaming, inside they couldn't be much more different. The Shield is rocking an Nvidia Tegra K1 with a quad-core processor, 2GB of RAM, and a cut-down version of a Kepler graphics card. The T100 is no slouch either, with a quad-core Intel Atom X5 processor, 4GB of memory, along with Intel HD graphics. The iPad Mini uses an Apple A8 dual-core CPU, 2GB of RAM, and potent PowerVR graphics. In Geekbench 3, the single-threaded performance helps the A8 overcome its lack of cores, where in GFX Bench, the killer Nvidia GPU helps pull out the win over both the iPad and Asus. While it might be down in raw power, it is worth noting that the T100 not only has twice as much RAM, but also 64GB of storage versus 16 on the others, which is especially important for running full Windows 10. Of course, things aren't perfect. While the addition of the keyboard dock is a huge advantage, the tablet itself has large bezels, and the plastic build looks fine, but the T100 feels by far the cheapest here. The screen also isn't anything special. It's a 10-inch 1280 by 800 panel, which is totally usable, but it's not as sharp nor as nice to look at as the others. The iPad Mini has the design, battery life, and performance to easily keep up with gaming, but at $400, not only is it significantly more expensive than the others, but it's also only a bit cheaper than the more useful iPad Air. As by far the cheapest option here, there are some cut corners with the Shield, like no micro USB charger included in the box. Throw in the cover and controller and it quickly approaches $300, but even factoring in its age, there's not a lot to complain about. The software is essentially pure Android with legitimately useful additions by Nvidia, and even little things like the front-facing speakers go a long way in making it a nice experience to game on. It might not be perfect, but for the price, it's hard to argue with the Shield K1.